All right, so we are looking at dividing rational numbers on this notes video. Dividing rational numbers as a continuation from what we started on the last notes video, multiplying rational numbers. So we'll skip past the refresher course on the rap and on the melody and go right into our dividing. So let's remember a couple things, right? Multiplication and division rules. Same sign, positive, different sign, negative. That's an important one for this. So we'll do one example of dividing with decimals, and then we will get on to dividing with fractions. So a couple of reminders. Set up long division. So that looks like this. And a lot of times students mess this up. The idea is what goes inside the house, that's this part right here, is what you're dividing. So that goes on top. Okay? So that's on the inside, 1.46. And what goes on the outside is the 0.05. Or 0.5, excuse me. I like to think about this just rotating like that. Right? Think about it. See how the 0.5 is on the outside and this is on the inside? Draw that line up. It's kind of like turning this on its side. That's how I like to remember it. All right, so we've got our long division. Now, a couple of things to remember. We have to move the decimal of the outside number to the right until it becomes a whole number. Notice that's of the outside number. And so we have to count. We say, all right, we need to move this one spot, and now it's a whole number. It's 5. All right, so we've done that. Once we've done that, then we move the decimal of the inside number the same number of spaces. So the inside number doesn't matter. It's the outside number. So we only move it one time. And then we bring the decimal straight up. So right up here. Decimal's ready to go. Now we're just going to divide like normal. All right. So I'm going to use blue because I like blue. So 5 goes into 1 0 times. 5 goes into 14 2 times. With a remainder of 4. Now we bring down the 6. 5 goes into 46 9 times. That'd be 45 with a remainder of 1. Now here's where we're not done yet, right? We need to add a placeholder 0 here and bring that guy down. And now we have 5 goes into 10, of course, 2 times. With the remainder of 0. Now we are actually done. So our final answer is 2.92. And it's, of course, positive because same sign, positive, different sign, negative. All right, if you have questions on that, feel free to watch this part of the video again. All right, so let's move on to get some new vocabulary for us. When we're dividing with fractions, we need to know what this word right here means. That word is reciprocal. Go ahead and repeat it out loud. I know it's going to be weird, but repeat that word out loud. Reciprocal. Good. So reciprocals are two fractions whose product is 1. So that might be a little confusing right now, but I promise it will make sense in a moment. Though the algebraic word, the word that this technically is called the multiplicative inverse. It's kind of like the additive inverse. Additive inverses are numbers that add together to equal 0. This one is numbers that multiply to equal 1. And so we want to write the reciprocal, and the way we think about that is not reciprocal, but the refliprocal for each rational number. Now the question is, what if it's not a fraction? Well, the first two are pretty easy because 3/4, what's that written as a flip? When we flip that, 3/4 becomes 4/3. Now, why does that work? Well, because if we multiply across, 3 times 4 is 12, and 4 times 3 is 12, and we know that 12 over 12 equals 1. So that's why these are reciprocals of each other, because they'll multiply together to equal 1. And now the same thing is true, the reciprocal for 7/8, or for negative 7/8, is that it's negative 8 over 7. Okay? Notice the signs don't change with reciprocals. They don't change at all. Now, number 4 is a little tricky because there is no fraction. So what are we going to do with this? Well, let's change it to a fraction. All right, let's change it to a fraction. How do we do that? Well, 6 becomes 6 over 1, and now we have our reciprocal of 1/6. Same thing's true for the mixed number. What do we need to do with this? Change it to improper. Okay? Change it to improper. The way we do that is just like we did in the last video, we multiply the denominator times the whole number. 2 times 1 is 1, and then add the numerator. All right, so 2 times 1 is 1, or 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So that is equal to 3 over 2. So what's its reciprocal? Its reciprocal is 2 over 3. That's its reciprocal, 2/3. Okay. If you have questions on this, just go back and rewatch that portion because we're going to go ahead and start dividing now. All right, so a couple things to keep in mind as we divide fractions. The cool thing about dividing fractions is that really we're just going to change division to multiplication. And the way we do that is by KCF, not KCC, not keep, change, because we're not changing the signs. We want to keep, change, flip. The way I remember that is Kentucky chicken fried, division on a Friday night, flipping fractions feels so right, change to multiplication. That's why I have myself as a chicken. So the idea is Kentucky chicken fried, I want to keep, change, flip. So I need to first change mixed numbers to improper fractions. That's the first thing. Don't touch the first fraction. Notice, keep. Multiply by the reciprocal, change division to a multiplication, and flip the fraction. Now it's a multiplication problem. So it will make sense in just a moment. So let's get into it. So I want to keep, change, flip. Now when do I do keep, change, flip? When I'm dividing. Why would I do it with multiplication? Well, because multiplication is already easy. I don't need to change it. I want to change to multiplication. Okay. Division on a Friday night, flipping fractions feels so right. Change to multiplication. Remember, so we're changing to multiplication. So I keep this one. That stays the same. Change this to multiplication. Oops, sorry about that. And then flip the last fraction. So rewrite it as the reciprocal. So change division to multiplication and flip the fraction. And when we do this, flip the second fraction. That's kind of an important one, the second one. And now it's just multiplication, so we multiply straight across, right? Check for cross canceling. Anything? No. So negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. 3 times 1 is 3. Now I want you to write your answers in mixed number form. So 3 goes into 4 one time with a remainder of 1. So that's going to be negative 1 1/3. All right, so I'm going to show you something that I like to do that I think is a little bit more unique to me. Instead of rewriting my whole fraction, I like to do it in a slightly different way. So I want to change the mixed number to improper fraction. So that's good to go. We're good. Don't touch the first fraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write my reciprocal over here. So what's the reciprocal of negative 12/15? Negative 15 over 12. Now watch. What I like to do is I literally like to cross off division because I don't like division. And I literally just do this. Now what does it say? Well, it says negative 3 times negative 15, 5 over 12. So I rewrote the problem. I just crossed off the division part and rewrote it as multiplication. That's something that I like to do. If you like that idea, then go ahead and do it. If you don't, then just rewrite the problem like I did in the first one. All right, so now I need to cross cancel. 3 and 12, common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 12 4 times. 5 and 15, common factor of 5. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 15 3 times. And now let's multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4, and we got to check our sign. Notice negative 3/5, negative 15 over 12, same sign, positive, so I am donezo. All right, let's get to the two tougher ones. And the only reason why these are tougher is because they're mixed numbers, so we first need to convert them to improper fractions. So let's do that first. Before we do anything, we want to change to improper fractions. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 is 18, so negative 18 over 5, divided by 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so 5 over 2 with a negative in front. Now, a lot of you guys might be tempted right now to cross-cancel these 5s and cross-cancel the 18 and 2. Don't do that. We don't cross-cancel unless we're multiplying. We only cross-cancel with multiplication, not with division. So let's make it so we can. Let's go ahead and Kentucky chicken fried, division on a Friday night. Flipping fractions feels so right. Change to multiplication. Of course, that's supposed to be a 5. It just looks a little funky. Now let's look to see if we can cross-cancel. No common factors, no common factors. So no, we can't cross-cancel at all. So we just multiply straight across. 18 times 2 is 36. And 5 times 5 is 25. And now, of course, we want to do same sign positive, so no negative on this one. 25 goes into 36 one time with a remainder of 11. And notice 11 25ths is fully simplified. All right, last one. And this one's going to have everything that we need, every single thing that we need to do. We'll need to simplify. We'll need to do keep, change, flip, do all kinds of stuff. All right, so first things first, change mixed numbers to improper fractions. Now, we don't do that with addition and subtraction, just with multiplication and division. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 7 is 63 over 8, divided by 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Notice the negative. Now, you guys might be tempted, but we might be looking out and seeing, hey, 63 and 7, eventually we'll get them. So now we need to Kentucky chicken fry. Division on a Friday night. Flipping fractions feels so right. Change to multiplication. There we go. Now let's cross-cancel. Let's cross-cancel here. 8 and 3, no common factors. 63 and 7, yep, there's a common factor of 7. 7 goes into 7 one time. 7 goes into 63 9 times. And now we have to multiply straight across, just like we did in the multiplication rules. 9 times negative 3 is 27. I'm going to switch to blue because I want to. 27. 8 times 1 is 8. And of course, this one's going to be negative because same sign positive, different sign negative. Might be a good idea, just like we do with addition and subtraction. Identify your sign right from the start. It might be a good idea. It's up to you if you decide that. 8 goes into 27 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. So with a remainder of 3, 3/8 is fully simplified, and of course it's going to be negative. All right. That is that. We are done with your division notes.